Say anything? I'll count about 10. Is that enough? There's dog, right? There's dog, and sleeping on the ground. Now, what was the last picture? I just just look here. I just flip upside down.
I guess kind of looks like a pig.
So what I showed you, the first one was simply upside down. Okay. So you're an engineer. If you say analyze FFT, well, the two signals are identical. The only difference is the phase, right? But why you readily recognize there's not here, not here? Because your brain has experience to do this. In fact, I did it. This is the same signal I show every year. Every year, I give a lecture. I also teach with others a lecture in the university in Beijing, Tsinghua University. There's a bunch of Chinese students. I show them the same thing. And when I ask you the question, I was counting how many times, how long it takes before some people say, oh yeah, I see it. And then, when I give a lecture in Beijing, I do the same thing. Now, for all of you, when I show this, you pass it. But as soon as it flashes, 80%, 90% of you, within 3 seconds, you got it. Interesting. In Beijing, it takes substantially longer for Chinese students to recognize this. Why? Because doctors are not everywhere on the street. Doctors are here, part of American life. You're familiar, 101 Dalmatian, you know the movie. So I always joke, I'm going to make another picture. I replace dog and panda. Your response time and Chinese student response time will reverse. That just proves that this, when you do the detection now, what I apply here is not a detection theory. Your brain's experience is in play. So this is about this very important sentence I want you to walk away. That is our perception. So what we detect outside is our brain's interpretation. Is not 100% transformation. Is interpretation. Of course, our interpretation is governed by detection theory, but it is interpretation that our brain does. So to have an example, if I give you this exam, ask you what you say I see nothing, Dr. Wang. I cannot take point from you. There's nothing. If you argue me, there's nothing here. Just black white patch. There was nothing. Except one of us agree there's dog. We have seen dog. Right? That's the very important thing to keep in mind. Okay? So that means perception and perception are not different. So here are some suggested readings that are very interesting. One of them is about the Einstein brain animation. Another is about signal detection theory. Signal detection theory would normally takes in engineering school will take about a week or two because there are mathematical derivations there. In psychology class will take a couple of days, but I'm really flashing through quickly. But you can read here, and I'm sure you spend some time to understand what's there. Okay. So that's the first lecture. Any questions? Any questions? This is the part that you might need, if you have more questions, or with TAs sessions and put some homework. So what I'm going to do is I'll continue with introduction. I told you the first 2 weeks are all introductory classes. The first lecture is about psychophysics. So this second lecture I'm going to give you is about how to analyze neuron. We call it fundamental of neuron coding. And this is a summary slide. I'll put it there with a little bit color to highlight those 4 probabilities we talk about. Now, there are 2 concepts that we need to go through before we dive into all the inner circuits of the brain. the two concepts are very important, fundamental to all the nervous system. First is the concept of reciprocal field. Second is the spike. Okay. What do we mean by reciprocal field? What is this? This is a word that is kind of awkward. But this is a word, this is a term that biologists have been using in the literature, reciprocal field. Okay. So this is a concept that is similar to what we engineers call the filter. If we think of this neuron, there's input, there's output. And if it's a linear system, you will learn that y would be y equals to x convolved with h. If it's linear, timing right? And if you think a neuron is linear, or this h of t would be a reciprocal field. The most kind of neuron is not. But the concept of a reciprocal field is similar to filter of engineering. So it's filter concept. Okay, that's the concept here. Now, how do we derive this? So every sensory system has this reciprocal field. I'll give you a couple of examples. For somatosensory system, this is in control one-way field. If you drop the electrode in the brain somewhere in the somatosensory cortex, which we'll discuss later on in more detail, then you lightly touch with brush part of the skin. If you touch this light green part of the skin, and the neuron here would fire. Those pulses are actually potential spikes. We'll talk about in a few minutes. It's like if I drop the electrodes in my brain and connect to the amplifier, and normally you just hear sparks firing occasionally. Then I touch middle here, very tense. Then I touch slide outside here, then it stops completely. Far away and nothing. Okay. So that's how you define reciprocal field. We'll give you more example later on. Okay. That's called reciprocal field for somatosensory neuron. Now, the somatosensory system, of course, we have many skin parts. There are many neurons. Every neuron has a reciprocal field somewhere on the skin. If you line them up, their reciprocal field covers different parts of the skin. And this is a very famous plot showing reciprocal field in the brain corresponding to different parts of the skin. We'll come back to revisit this when I come back to teach you the somatosensory system. Now, what about auditory system? So here, three examples. In auditory system, we measure reciprocal field by two parameters. One is by sound frequency, whether you give a low tone or high tone, and the sound level. And here it's called threshold. So for this one, for this neuron, at 2,000 hertz, you only need this minimum energy, about 15 dB excited. That's called frequency, called calculated frequency. That's called threshold. That's the reciprocal field for auditory. And now, of course, we hear many frequencies. You can imagine there are neurons in the brain that have different frequency sensitivity. So their reciprocal field will have characteristic frequency, low frequency, middle frequency, high frequency. If you line them all up, eventually, they give you a sense of hearing. But I did not say one thing. That is, when I say you touch here, well, you say how heavy I touch. This is something we have yet to define. So if I just touch it ever so lightly, you can imagine it's a very tiny area. If you touch heavily, the area is large. So reciprocal field size depends how you measure. The reciprocal field depends on how you measure. Here I give you an example for auditory reciprocal field. I say it's like this. But the another is where your distinction theory come in now. And every neuron would have some ongoing firing. I say if we do nothing, this neuron connecting to this part skin would have occasional firing, like this. Then I touch it. That's a So then question immediately you should have in mind now. If I compare two, is this more background or not? It's the same thickness. So you have to make decision threshold. How many spikes above spontaneous I actually student here. Okay. So this shows you the reciprocal field of this auditory neuron would be different given different criteria. If you say 10 spikes per second by criteria, that's your reciprocal field. If you require 100 spikes per second, we draw different. Okay. So the point here is the size of the reciprocal field, RF, depends on the threshold criteria. Now, when you line up all of this together, that is measure hearing. This is audiogram. So if you go to doctor's office, you measure how well you hear. And this show you at each frequency what is the lowest threshold a typical human being has. So we can hear from 50 hertz all the way to about 20K. About 25, we can't hear. So when you go to the stereo store, these days, no one go to the stereo store, everyone MP3 elements. But if you are electronic fan, you go to a stereo store, you buy, for a while, when I was a graduate student, the electronics getting better and better. They will tell you, oh, my amplifier sample 96K. Oh, this is better than your 48K. That's the industry standard. But if you have learned this, 96K sampling rate will give you 48K range. Well, we're not going to hear that. So all you hear is here. Above that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many you sample, right? So all of this actually is industry design. When you design CD, sampling rate is 44.05K. The digital video is like 48. All of that is designed with this in mind. That is our highest sampling rate. It's here. This is for all of you now. Assume you have not gone to too many rock and concerts. Okay, if you have gone that, you might have some hearing damage. Okay. And 30 years from now, 40 years from now, when you are in your 60s, 70s, you'll notice the upper range of hearing will drop. Then by the time you reach 70, you're probably not going to hear much better than 10, 12K. So our hearing is continue to drop. So next time when you talk to your parents, grandparents, they don't seem to hear you. Just be patient. That's because they might lose a high frequency hearing. That when you see certain words too fast, too rapid, they may not be able to catch up because the hearing has been lost. At first, we discovered this years ago. One year, when I was young, 500, in the setup of my life, one year my father came to visit. I was very proud. I took my daddy to life. Say, we have audio live. We can play sound. We can measure this. I just play sound. Then play like 15K. My father has no reaction. He's embarrassed. I realize it's a serious show. It's shaking way below. Then I quickly determined actually, his hearing there is about 13K. So anyway, so this thing is bear in mind. It's useful for you to know. Even you become just an engineer, not studying when you design for different people. What they can hear is very important. Now I asked the last week. So if you learn psychometric function, I couldn't really ask you the question I made. How do you measure hearing threshold in 1 kilohertz? Design psychophysics, draw me data. With everything we talk about, you actually can do this now. If I give you a line, you should be able to measure it. But in the classroom, in the homework and exam, you can do this conceptually. Describe the procedure, text, exam, answers, it's no one. Now for visual system, this is a major system that you'll hear a lot here. The receiver field is in the term of where the location is and the orientation. This is the case in the visual cortex of a cat. If you show the orientation of the bar, cat is the most sensitive to this vertical bar and less to others. And that's nothing that you're going to hear. So the point here is that every sensory system has receiver field, but the nature and the dimension of the receiver field is different. But they are same concept. Now, the size of the receiver field really determines how accurate a particle sensory system will be able to perceive the outside. Now, this is simulation. I'm sure one of you knows where this is. This is Yosemite National Park in California. So if you have a lot of receptors, like in us humans, and each receiver has a very small receiver field, this is what you will be able to see Yosemite. But if you go to some species like a mouse has a terrible vision, very large receiver field. From mouse and eye, it might see receiver field like this. Yosemite will appear like this. Okay. Now, this is important for us to keep in mind. Species are different because in this class, we're going to go back to the human animal literature back and forth, often without mentioning what a species is. So this is important. Now, of course, that's vision. That if I take another sensory system, what I'm trying to do, you notice from the, since I'm course director, I will try to merge different examples from different systems. When other professors come in, they more or less just talk about one system. Throughout class, when I do lecture, I try to use the example from a different system but the same concept. I think it's easier for you to appreciate it. That size of reciprocal field also apply to the smart sensory system. For example, the size of a reciprocal field in here, in our arm and the waist, is much larger than the fingertip. How large it is? This is the size that we measure. So if you measure reciprocal field at the different places, I don't have time now. Next time when I do smart sensory system, we'll do the test on this here. So if you look at what's in your arm here, it's as large as 40 millimeters. That's very large. Okay. Where's the smallest one? Well, in your fingertip. It's only a few millimeters. And you can measure it by so-called two-point discrimination. So if I give you 2-point stimulus, this far, and push your finger, of course you can tell that too. But put it here, if you don't look at it, you actually cannot tell. So in this case, the size of a reciprocal field immediately predict how well. And this is amazing. We'll talk about smart sensory system. This is amazing how we can do with our finger can do as a human, actually as a practice. Also, and that's the size of the system. And we'll come back to this. The second concept I'm going to go through before class today is the concept of spikes. So we'll talk about a lot of transformation from energy, physical energy, to the internal perception. What is the carrier to move energy, sound, light, touch into our decision? One word, spike. Spike. This is what I call it. Spike. What is spike? Formally, we call it action potential. But for brief neuroscientists, just call it spike. So this is what it looks like. So if you look at neuron in the brain, somewhere, literally anywhere, the neuron would have 3 parts. You have cell bodies, dendrite, axon. I'm sure, assuming you have all known term. If you drop the electrode close enough to cell body, you can record this kind of signals. Okay. Now, if the electrode is outside cell body, you call extracellular recording. If you're inside intracellular recording, but you record it as pulses. Okay. And this is a real spike, real record in my library. That is from a live subject, it's an animal species. This is action potential. This is the pulses in the brain that happen every day in your brain, my brain, all the time. They carry all the information of brain. So one of the tasks you have in this class is to understand how you handle this, how you analyze it. Suppose you will not get a chance to record directly because it's quite challenging. In the lab, I'm going to do with most of you in about 2 weeks for action conduction velocity experiment. We'll measure compound action. It's a similar spike, but not quite. So this is a theoretically killing spike. You stay here. But what about spike? Well, this is what you do. If you drop the electron in the brain, you will record signals like this. Those are spikes because I'm going back on activity. You can figure them out. You get a spike. Now, since you guys have taken neuroscience neurobiology subject before, if I ask you to name what is special about spike, a spike in our nervous system versus we go to copper wires, there's a spike too. What is the difference? What is the number one thing coming into your mind? Anyone giving? What makes action potential special? I just draw you whole action potential. Can you have half action potential? No, you're not. It's called all or none. That's the most important. So action potential either have it or don't have it. Right? Since you have it or don't have it, what matters is not the size anymore. It's when it occurs. So we can take time to come in one dot. So in short, action potential or spectrum can be represented by a bunch of dots, the currents of time. Mathematically, we call it discrete point pulses. This is where we introduce random variable, random pulses now. Okay. Random pulses now. So if action potential turn here, I convert it here, then this becomes a measure. So here are the 4 measurements. I'm going to walk you through that. Come back to this again. That I'm going to use to measure action potential. So here's a simple task. If I say let's do auditory task, I record from auditory neuron, I play sound. for 1 second. The whole one spike, I say, how you analyze spike in relationship to that stuff. That's very fancy. So there are several ways to analyze it. But why you want to use spike to analyze it? Because the spike is the decision what internally bring your life. The simplest thing to analyze is called mean fire rate. So there are 4 things we want to do. Mean fire rate, post-Smith histogram, periodic histogram, interval interval. I may not be able to finish this today, but I'm going to finish the first 2. I'll come back to this later. Mean fire rate is that you count how many spikes per unit period. That is how many spikes per second. So if you do that, there's a visual neuron selected for into, you'll be able to say this neuron fire maximum here and this here. So you can use that to measure. Okay, forgive that. So this is a formula to measure first before you can look. The another one to measure is that when you neuron respond to stimuli, it does not respond the same way all the time. For example, this is the ultra neuron. We play once, 500 milliseconds up. This is like, right? Neuron fire every dot is spike. There are 50 times. If we average this pattern, what I tell you is that at the beginning, first 10, 20 milliseconds, neuron fire a lot. As time goes, it goes down. This is called adaptation. Now, how do you, if you just use the fire rate, then you just average everything within here, you will not be able to see this trend. In order to see this trend, you need to calculate something called post-Smith histogram. And there's a formula to calculate this. There's a formula to calculate this. So what I'm going to do is the following. So the calculate of this formula is very similar to calculate the fire rate. And the fire rate will use total number of spikes per unit period. And PSTH for post-stimulus histogram tell you temporal pattern, means as function of time. Okay. The way you calculate here is just average each beam. Okay. So I'm going to give you a homework exercise. So until you actually calculate, it's hard to stick your head. But once you calculate, you know this. And I expect you, if I give you all the time like this, you'll be able to calculate all of this. Then the next level of analysis is more complex now. That involves calculating a relationship between this. And then when I come back next lecture, I'm going to introduce you a mathematical model called the Poisson process by use of models. Now, this is the part that actually requires a bit more thinking and talking. So I'd like you to review the rest of my lecture. The remaining slides actually is a little bit more demanding than this. Talk about how you use the Poisson process and apply this. This is another very crucial mathematical tool in addition to the detection through. Please review it. So when I return to the lecture, we'll continue to discuss this in the context of how this is. Any more questions? Okay, see you on Friday.